Hey Seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello, and welcome back to the show. Today, I am speaking to the people who are listening that really, really want to make changes in their life. Like, really. I've noticed lately that I'm being drawn towards people that I would call ambitious. And this doesn't have to mean you have a business or you have any, concrete income goals or something that we think goes with ambition. But what this means is you are doing what it takes to get yourself to the next level. You're willing to do what it takes to get yourself to the next level. So if this is you, Seeker, this is an episode made for you. I'm going to help you go from feeling stuck into knowing what your first steps are to really make sure that you are truly moving into a place where change is inevitable. And before I launch in, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. My name is Talia, and I'm a manifestation mentor, an intuitive, an empath, a mom of 3, and I live on the west coast of Canada on a beautiful island called Vancouver Island. We have palm trees. We also sometimes get snow in the winter, just regular times around here. So welcome. If you're new here, I welcome you, and I'm very excited that you found the podcast. If you're into manifestation, quantum manifestation, if you're a seeker wanting to take your life to the next level, you've stumbled across the right podcast. And this is because the law of attraction is working for you. And if you're not new to the show, welcome back, friend. Thank you so much for hanging around, supporting the show, and being someone who is inevitably moving forward in your life. So let's dive in today. I did not plan on recording a podcast today, but I was so inspired that I physically could not stay away from the mic. So I don't have notes, I don't have talking points. I'm just gonna riff, and I know that it's gonna land with the right people today. So today I'm really talking to, as I mentioned, those people that are ready to up-level. Yes, up-level. Again, I know you've done this many times in your life, but we all can recognize that point where it's like, this is not working for me. What I've been doing over and over is not working for me, whether it's in your business, with your health, in your personal life, maybe it's your level of joy and your mental health, or anything really that you're being called to change. When you get to that point that you're frustrated, you seem to be falling in the same cycles, and you're just ready for something new. This is what I'm talking about today. I've been in this place many, many times, and I'm sure you have too. In fact, I know you have too. And looking back, aren't those the times that you truly catapulted into change? The times when you were just sick of your own shit, sick of the way that life was going in one area or in all of the areas, sick of the same pattern coming into your experience. I can definitely go to many times in my life where I've been there. And one that I've shared before is about my eating disorder. And it was a slow burn of a problem. It was going on since I was really honestly about 8, which scares me because I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. But I had body dysmorphia. I would say I just had a really unhealthy relationship with my body. And as I grew and as I became aware of what losing weight was and what I thought my body should look like, it slowly developed into an eating disorder. And when I was about 18, I decided that I was going to lose weight. I did some crazy diet. Who remembers Slim Fast? And I lost weight at first because I went from eating a bunch of crap all the time to 3 shakes a day. I was starving. I had the shakes. I was drinking shakes and lost weight in the first month. And then, of course, the weight loss stopped because I was drinking 3 sugary shakes a day. But it really fueled something in me. I noticed I was losing weight. I was getting attention from people, from guys, from friends, like saying how good I looked and all this. And it really made me crave that attention because I grew up not thinking very much of myself. I was fairly light as a kid, not in body, but meaning in spirit. Quite a free spirit. But as I grew, I became very self-conscious very quickly. I felt very different. I was left-handed and it felt like everyone was right-handed. I had curly, crazy hair and everyone felt like they had straight hair, and I was bigger and I just felt different all the time. And so when I started to lose weight and people were saying like, you look so good, and it was like a positive form of attention, right? And so that led me, that whole Slim Fast situation led me to diet more and more and more. And, every time something would stop working, I'd get more extreme and more extreme. And by the time I was in my early 20s, I had a full-blown eating disorder. I was controlling my food intake like crazy, calculating every last calorie. And I was actually online. I've never told anyone this before in my life, but I would go to these online eating disorder forums. At the time, there wasn't Facebook yet. And at the time, I was in these chat rooms chatting with other people who were going through the same thing, encouraging each other to not eat and to, count your ribs. And it was really unhealthy looking back, but it spiraled out really quickly. So to kind of come back to what I'm talking about today is I got very lost for a long time. And I had many times of like, this is not working. I can't continue. But I was scared and I wanted to continue losing weight, and I didn't want to balloon up and, be fat and go back to where I was when I was at my peak weight, which was almost 200 pounds at 5'4". That felt like a lot. And I couldn't go back there. So I just didn't know what to do. And I got pregnant with my first baby, and I managed to be healthy over the pregnancy. But as soon as the pregnancy was done, I went back to controlling, back to obsessive exercise. And it wasn't until I got pregnant with my second baby that I really had a moment of, I cannot go through this anymore. Like, this is now so much more than about me. And I started leaning into self-love. I'd been studying law of attraction and spirituality for a long time, but it was always something that was in my head. It hadn't dropped into my heart. I know you can relate to that. Sometimes there's things we know, all the positive sayings, all the affirmations, all the truths, but it's when it truly drops into your heart that you really get it. And one day it just sinks in. And I had this moment of, I can't go on. My eating disorder had turned into bulimia. I found out I was pregnant, and it was like, I literally can't go on this way. I decided something different for my life that day. And so if you're at this kind of place in your life, it may not be that dramatic, or maybe it is, but maybe it's just like you're sick of struggling. You're sick of feeling like you don't have purpose or abundance or support or love, and you just want more. Then there's a few things that I'm really going to recommend that you do today. And some of the things that I'm going to recommend may be a little triggering, but I know you're a seeker and I know you're committed to growth. So I know that you can stand in here with me and hear me out and really go through this process with me. So the very first thing that you absolutely need to do when you're wanting to change your life and you are actually ready, the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what you want. And this sounds really simple. And if you never go forward with any steps towards this, it'll live as a concept. And you'll be like, well, of course I know what I want. I want to be happy. I want to be rich. I want to be skinny, or I want to be healthy, or whatever it is, right? But I want to ask you what you really, really want. How do you want your life to look? And again, I bet you're thinking, I kind of do know what I want. And maybe not. Maybe you can fully admit you don't. But there are so many people that I've worked with that when I ask them what they want, they go, like they've never thought of it before, which is brilliant because they've come to me. They're in the right place to dive into this stuff, right? They've made the right move to seek my help and go on this journey with me. So if I asked you right now, if I was sitting across from you and I asked you, what do you want, my love? What do you want in your life? I would love to hear what comes out. So I recommend taking a journal out, writing out what it is you want. And I'm serious. If you are serious about change, do this. If you don't like journaling, speak it out loud. Just start riffing. I want to live in ease. I want to feel flexible in my body. I want to wake up feeling content. I want to wake up knowing I'm helping people, that I'm living in purpose, that I feel calm, feel happy. I'm excited to start my day. I want to feel like I get healthier month after month. I want to feel more empowered. I want to feel like I can truly manifest the life that I want. I want to feel loved. I want to feel supported. I want to surround myself with like-minded people. I want to live on the beach. I want to travel all the time. I want to help animals. I want to help women. I want to help people find their purpose. I want to live free. I want to wear clothes that are comfortable. I want to feel comfortable in my body. I want to be able to walk around with confidence, with my head held high, knowing that I have so much self-worth and self-love. I want to treat myself well. I want to have a daily routine that feeds my mind, body, and soul. So whatever's true for you, I want you to write this out. This is the very first step in getting what you want. You need to have a clear idea of what it is you want. It doesn't have to be so specific, like I want $20,000 in my bank account, but it could be I want an overflow of abundance where I never have to truly worry about money, right? So you don't have to get more specific than what you can see in your mind's eye. You might not know the exact car you want, or maybe you do. Maybe it's I want a Jeep and a convertible Jeep, you know? So you can get as specific as you want or leave it general, but I want you to feel it. I want you to get a really good sense of what you want. And the reason why this is so important is because the law of attraction is always working, whether you realize it or not, whether you know about it or not, whether you focus on it or not, it is working. And when you don't know what you want in life, you're sort of headed nowhere. And I don't mean headed nowhere as in somewhere bad. I just mean you kind of just go through life, maybe reacting to what happens and wishing things were different, but not really creating a clear picture of that life that you want. So the law of attraction doesn't have as much to grip onto and bring you, right? If you listen to episode, I think it was 2 or 3, in the title it says a really fun exercise to show you law of attraction's real. And in that exercise, I get you to focus on bringing in an unexpected gift. And you focus for 24 hours on an unexpected gift is coming my way, and unexpected blessings coming my way. And I get so much feedback all the time saying, Talia, it happened. And I know it did because it did for me too when I did this. And also, where I got that exercise from a book called E = MC cubed, I think, or E squared is the book. Anyway, I'm getting science and books mixed up, but it's by Pam Grout. I think it's called E squared actually. And the other exercise she has you do in that book is picture a green car, picture a green car, green car, green car, focus on a green car, and notice how within minutes to hours you will see a green car. And this is the law of attraction, right? So that green car may have been there anyway, but it was your focus that brought it into your reality. You noticed it. You picked up on it, right? So if you didn't have a focus, it would be floating out there anyways, but you didn't bring it into your awareness and it didn't really fully land into your life because, why were you wouldn't focus on a green car if you weren't trying to focus on a green car. So if you're not focusing on what it is you want, it could actually, amazing things could be coming your way, but not fully landing into your experience. You don't notice them, you don't pick up on them, and then more of them don't show up because you don't have a specific focus. Law of Attraction is about focusing and about focused thought and about what you focus on expands. So the very first thing you absolutely need to do is get a good idea of what you want. And this is why, another reason why this her work is so powerful, awakening her, that version of yourself that already is living that dream life. Because it brings focus to what it is that you want. You get acquainted with her and her life and her energy and her support system and her bank account and her clothes and her habits, right? And life gets drawn to you. It gets matched and created in your experience. So step number 1 is always, what do you want? And if you did a practice where you wrote out every week, say on Mondays or Sundays or whatever day, and you wrote out what I want and just allowed yourself to riff, you would uncover new things. You'd realize some of the things that you already have that you want and new things that you want to bring into your experience. And it's such a good exercise and necessary. If you haven't done this, you have to. I know, tough love a little bit today, right? Or I should say direct love. So that's step number 1. What do I want? And then step number 2, this is a hard pill to swallow sometimes, you guys. I need you to get support. Sacred pause so that you really let that land. If you right away go like, she's just going to tell me I need to hire someone, or why do I need to get support? Why are you fighting getting support? Why are you resisting getting support? Why are you pretending that support has to be something that drains you, takes all your money, takes all your time, right? I can't do that. I'm busy. I don't have enough money, right? All the reasons. Well, why are you resisting support so much? So support, my love, is not just hiring a coach. Of course, I'm a coach. I have a coach. I have for years. It's propelled me so much faster into the direction that I want than I could. I can't even imagine where I'd be without a coach, but that's my flavor. Support doesn't just have to be one way, but think about it. Anyone who wants to be something gets support. When somebody wants to become a dentist, they go to school to learn how to become a dentist. Even if they didn't need a degree, they can't just walk in and be like, "Hey, Mr. Smith, I'm going to fill a cavity." They actually have to learn how to do the thing that they want. If someone wants to go to the Olympics, they get a coach. I'd be interested to know how many people that have made it to the Olympics did not have a coach. Anyone who wants to be something gets support. Allows someone to help them get from point A to point B. And again, if you're not doing that, why? Why are you not allowing people to support you? So support can be a group. People that go to Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. The support group is a huge part of their recovery, if not the center part. People that are wanting to lose weight typically get a trainer, join a group, take a class, even buddy up with a friend who's on the same path, to keep each other accountable, to keep each other inspired, to be there on the low days, to be there in the celebrations. Support goes so far. I want you to think of somebody who supports you in your life, a best friend, a mother, a sibling, a spouse, and think of your really hard times. Where would you be without their support? Sacred pause. I know with my husband, with my best friend, with my coaches, I don't know where I would be in those really down times if I hadn't have had these certain people supporting me in my life. So when you really want to move the needle forward, I will almost go as far to say that you absolutely need support. It's non-negotiable. When people become committed to a goal, they will do anything it takes to get there. Instead of just worrying like that sounds like a lot of work, or I don't know if I'm that strong, or I don't think I can do it, they just do it. And that doesn't mean it's perfect. That doesn't mean it's flawless. People that recover often had relapses. I've had coaches since the beginning of my business, and it wasn't until like year 4 that I actually started making money, like actually being able to live off of it. But I know without that support, I wouldn't have learned all the things that I know today that have made me successful, that make me able to reach people like you and work with people like you and really help people to truly change their lives. If I hadn't learned so much, taken courses and had mentors and had friends and had business besties and other spiritual women serving people that we can pull from each other, like support comes in all different ways. And if you're anything like me, maybe you've been really comfortable being a lone wolf. That was the story of my life. I never let people in. I never let people help me, but I tried to do it alone for so long. And it wasn't until I decided to recover from my eating disorder that I knew I needed help. It actually started with eating disorder counseling. And then after about a year, I felt like I needed more. And then it was spiritual mentors. It was spiritual texts. It was going back to my Wayne Dyer books and taking courses and having spiritual coaches that really actually helped me get over my eating disorder. And I don't think I could have done it on my own. I don't know if I would have had what it took. Ultimately, I'm sure that we do have what it takes inside somewhere. But when you're stuck, those patterns are thick. They've been well worn. You've lived them for a long time. And often there's a whole bunch of things that we don't know. It's called a blind spot. You don't even know what you're doing that's keeping you stuck. You're trying things and it's not working. You try to do this routine and it doesn't work. And you try to do this, strategy and it doesn't work. And you try to do this diet and it doesn't work. And you don't know what you don't know. So why not let someone into your life? Is it because you don't want to tell them how low things are? You feel embarrassed? Is it because you think you're going to let yourself down? Or that they may not actually help you? Is it a bunch of fear? Like, what if they charge me a lot of money and then it doesn't help? Or what if I don't follow through? Okay, that's legit fears. But what if you don't? What if you don't get support? What if you don't ever make it through this struggle? Yeah, right? And that's what I realized. If I don't get help, I may never make it through this eating disorder. And then my children have to grow up with me like that. I have to face my own shit every single day. I was to the point where I couldn't even function in this life. I couldn't go out for meals. I couldn't do anything. I was a mess. I was leaning on drugs and alcohol to not eat and bury my feelings, and I was withering away inside as a soul. I didn't trust myself. My life was self-sabotage. It was always tomorrow and next Monday. I'm going to do this and I don't do this. And I'm going to do this and I don't do this. And it was so tiring. So the first thing is to identify what you actually want. And the second thing is to get support. This is your life. This is your path. You know you're meant for more. Whether it's just a struggle with finances or starting a business or finding your purpose, or it's an addiction or a really unhealthy relationship or whatever's going on, get support, lean on people. And I'm going to just be real. When you hire people, when you exchange money, it moves something within you. When I pay a coach to work with them, I get every penny out of that money. I let them in. I take what they have to say and I try it. I take what they have to say and I do it. I let them in. When they say something that is so truth-filled, I'm like, oof, well, I needed to hear that because that's actually going to serve me. I want that. And it doesn't mean it's always easy or that I always have the money lined up. But I know as long as I'm growing and as long as I'm investing in myself, time, money, love, it will always serve me. And every single time I do invest time, money, and love into myself, I move forward. So I want you to do an exercise with me. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But if you're into it and you're not driving, close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. And picture that version of yourself 6 months from now who has gotten support. She's been supported for the last 6 months in whatever form. A group, a coach, a personal trainer, whatever. A community of some sort, a person, something. What is she feeling? What is she doing? What is different in her life? What is she saying to you right now about the fear you have about letting someone in, about investing, about giving some time, some solid attention to yourself and your life and allowing someone else to guide you, someone else to help you? What does she have to say about that? We are all meant to help each other in this life. I really believe that it's true that no man is meant to be an island. No woman is meant to be an island. We are meant to help each other. That's why we go through things, we overcome, and people like us are inspired to help others, whether it's your friends, your family, clients, your community. Maybe you're posting inspiring things on Facebook, or you're reaching out to friends who are in need, sending them love, being your natural, compassionate self. Doesn't that feel good to help others? Doesn't that feel good to support others? If a dear friend came to you and said, I need your help. I need someone to talk to. Doesn't that light you up and you go, okay, yeah, what do you need? I'm here for you. And when you rest your head on your pillow at night knowing you helped them, that's what other people feel when they get to help you. You are not a burden. You are not too much. And if you think someone truly thinks that about you, and it seems like they do, they are not the right person to help you. So that is number 2. After deciding what it is you want, I want you to ask yourself, who would be best to help me get there? And as I mentioned, when I'm having a bad day, generally it's my husband, right? Or my best friend. When I need to get somewhere in business, it's my business coach. When I need to organize my finances, it's my accountant. I don't necessarily go to my husband about my finances. I mean, of course we talk about finances, but you gotta pick the person who's right for the job. So are you wanting to amplify your spiritual gifts? Maybe it's a spiritual mentor. Are you wanting to lose some weight? Maybe it's a health and self-love and, fitness coach. So after you identify what you really want, ask yourself, who would be best for this job? What type of person would be best for this job? And this bleeds into number 3. trust that as you move into the person you're meant to be, the universe will support you. Sometimes it is not clear who is the best person to help you yet. Sometimes it's not clear how the money will come or how the time will come. Maybe you're busy and you can't imagine squeezing in an hour a week to go to the gym. But as you move forward on the path and you become determined, I don't know how, I'm kind of scared, but I am determined to move into that version that I see in my mind's eye. The time is now. This is my life. It's that important. I am ready. The universe will move mountains for you. You may need to reach out and say, hey, family, can anyone come look after my kids Wednesdays from 10 to 12 so I can go to the gym? Or you might need to say, Mom, Dad, can I borrow a little bit of money to cover the first payment for this coach? Or, take a little bit out of savings. Like, I'm not recommending, of course, you spend all your savings. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes we got to dig a little bit to make it happen. Reach out to that women's walking group that you've always wanted to join. Or the friend that's lost weight and say, hey, where did you go? What did you do? I might want to try something like that. Can you tell me about it? Can you be my buddy? Find Facebook groups online that truly support you. If they make you feel positive and supported and like you have a community, do it. Be open and available to how you can become supported and trust that the universe wants for you to be that highest version. Because that is the way in which this world goes around. That is the way in which our gifts are amplified and heard and received and spread onto other people, is by us individually stepping into our light, stepping into the version of ourself. We're not meant to sit here for years and years and years wishing life was different, wishing we were someone else. And if you have been that way, that's okay. I love you. I've been there too. All of my clients have been there too. But there's a time when we recognize it's time to move on. I want something different. So the first step is to identify what it is that you actually want. How do you want this life to go? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be? What do you want your habits to be and your demeanor and your energy to be? How can you get supported is the second step. Get supported. I am determined to get supported. I will get supported. Talk to yourself like that. Allow that in and trust that the right mentor will come. Whether that's a friend, a group, a coach, a program, whatever, right? It will come. I think it's Rumi that says, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And how true is that? How many times have you been ready for change and the perfect book came? The perfect social media page came? I can't even tell you how many times people say to me, your page just popped up on my newsfeed at the perfect time. How many people that when they reach out to work with me and they sign the agreement and blood is rushing through them and they're scared and they're excited and they don't even know what the heck they've just done, but they've committed to a program or 12 weeks of coaching, and then money shows up in their life. Someone comes that can look after their kid right at the time when our calls are supposed to be. Like, the universe parts the seas when you act on inspiration, when you know what you need, when you reach out. Because that's what this is all about. One person puts out their hand and helps another person, and that person puts out their hand and helps another person, and that's how the universe wants this to go. That's our natural state. That's why separation and competition and comparison feels so bad. It's because we're meant to be whole and community and helping each other, right? It's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and everyone has a scratch back. So that's what I have for you today. And I want this to really land. And any resistance that comes up, just love it. I see this resistance. I breathe through this resistance. Why do I resist support so much? And can I just fucking do it anyway? Because the reason you resist support, if you're like me, could be about worth, could be about not trusting in myself, could be about being just scared. What if? But how? But how's this going to work? But if you allow it to stop you, it's guaranteed you're not going to move forward, right? It's like if you don't move forward, then it's guaranteed you're not going to move forward. I know that's super repetitive, but it's the case. If you don't take a step, you're not going to take a step. So I love you so much, and I hope you hear the love and the support and the understanding and the compassion in my voice. And the reason why this is so passionate is not because I've known this since birth. It's not because I've been perfect or I've known this all the way along. It's because I fought it. I resisted it until I decided to jump in, until I decided to get a coach who could hear me, hear my chaos, my confusion, my disempowerment, sort through it, hear things in my language I couldn't hear, reflect back to me certain things, ask me powerful questions, offer me new exercises that I use today that changed my life, insights, ideas, steps, space. They held space for me, allowed me to be who I am, loved me unconditionally even when I wasn't loving myself. And that's truly what has moved me forward. So if you're ready, really, really ready to move forward, first step is you gotta know what you want. And even if it changes next week, that's cool, it will. It expands as you expand. But you gotta know what you want and how you wanna feel. And then you gotta get support. Get out there, come out of the struggle closet, be vulnerable, take a risk, confide in someone. And not just anyone. I wasn't necessarily going to say this, but I think it's important to say, it's not just about screaming from like the Facebook rooftops or posting a status saying I'm struggling. It's about seeking out the people that really can help you. Those friends that have really been through it, that like have, that being around them is inspiring and they inspire you to be better, or professionals that is their job, is to hold your hand and take you through. We don't want to cheat yourself with the type of help. We don't want to enlist any and all opinions. Because if you asked 100 people, how do I lose weight? You would get anything from fast for 2 weeks to cut carbs to intuitively eat, right? So you need to seek out the people that resonate with you, that feel good, that you feel like, oh my goodness, I know deep down if I was to work with them, talk to them, get their help, it would really help me because they get me, right? So whoever it is you decide to reach out to, your friends, professionals, coaches, whatever, make sure that you really feel like they get you and where you're at. And go for it. The third step is trust. Have faith that as you move down the path to your highest self, the universe will have your back. And the next mini step will appear, and the next mini step will appear. In my coaching sessions, when I'm working with clients and I'm in a session, I intuitively download what we need to talk about that day beforehand. I always know what we need to talk about, but I always ask my clients at the beginning of the call, is there anything going on in your space that you really want to talk about, that you really want to make sure gets out? Any big questions, any celebrations, any confusion, disempowerment? And I will listen and listen and listen and hear them and see them. And you know how often the exact thing that is causing whatever problem they bring up or the struggle of the week, it'll tie so perfectly into what I knew we were going to talk about, but they didn't know the solution. They were just struggling. They're like, why did I do this week? Why was I sabotaging? Or I don't know, I felt good and then I got so stressed. And I'm like, this is perfect. because this is what we're going to talk about this week. And they go, oh my goodness. Oh, and by the end of the call, they are excited to try this new thing or to have this new perception shift. Because we can't see our blind spots. We can't see what we don't know. We can't see what we can't see. But other people can. Qualified people, helpful people, people that have been in your shoes, they can. And they can help you. And that is what is going to truly make a difference in your life. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. This was big. This was bold. This requires an open heart. If it really hit you, go back and listen again in a few days. Write, cry, get excited, because your next step is here. You are ready. So don't hold yourself back. Start identifying what you want. Start putting out the feelers. Trust that the right person is making their way to you right now. And trust in all of this. Trust in your magic. Trust in the universe. And really allow someone in to help you. And of course, if you feel like that person is me, I'll put the link to mentorship in the show notes. And I really want to hear from you. I would love if you reached out and just said, hey, this episode hit me. I'm going to join a group. I'm going to hire a trainer. I'm going to do this thing because this really hit me and I'm ready and I'm so excited. Okay. Thank you for allowing me to express this. I know the right people will hear this and allow this shift into their life. I'm so proud of you, and your success is inevitable. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I really hope you loved it. Before I go, I want to acknowledge you for taking time out of your day to fuel your spiritual connection and manifest your future. I know you're busy, and just listening to this raises your vibe, resets your belief, and creates a positive ripple effect into your life. And you are doing such a good job. I am honored that you invited me into your life and into your ears. It's a beautiful thing, and I truly appreciate it. Remember, you are a powerful creator who is creating the most beautiful life as we speak. So today, I cheers to you.